So what security guarantees should be offered to Ukraine as part of a potential peace deal? To answer that and more, we've reached Gabrielius Landsbergis. He's a former foreign minister of Lithuania. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure. Thank you.
So now, Mr. Landsbergis, we'll get to the security guarantees in just a moment. But first, let's talk about the U.S. President Donald Trump trying to set up this meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky. The Kremlin so far has not committed to that sort of a plan. What do you think is the likelihood that these two leaders will be able to get together and that it will be an effective discussion?
Well, first of all, I think that it's very unlikely that President Putin will agree to meet President Zelensky because what happened during the last couple of days, well, let's say since Alaska, is that President Putin is in a very comfortable place right now. There's no new leverage being created that would put him in somewhat uncomfortable situation where he would feel that if he doesn't commit, then something worse than the situation right now could happen. No new sanctions, no new developments, no new weapon packages for Ukraine. So basically, he's okay to continue the war as it is now.
What do you think, and you listed off some of the items there, what might you like to see to lean into discomfort for Russia so that there is more leverage in these discussions? We've heard very clearly from the U.S. president that it seems that he is not willing at this stage to apply pressure.
Yeah, well, there has been very little pressure applied to President Putin since the inauguration in January. We have seen basically what is called the appeasement, but this time it came from Washington. It ended all with the red carpet and American soldiers basically kneeling in front of the murderous dictator. So that is definitely what the things that do not scare Putin. What would scare him is really the sanction package that would, cut his budget income in half, completely destroy his oil income, gas incomes, things like that. Or, for example, if Ukraine would get a promise, a pledge that it will be continuously reinforced with new weapons, new capabilities, new trainings. So these are the things that basically make Ukraine stronger in the battlefield and might change Putin's calculation.
When we talk about future conversations that might happen between the three leaders or involving European leaders, again, we saw sort of a back away from the idea of a ceasefire and an end goal of a peace deal that would put an end to the war. Do you imagine that some sort of a peace deal would include the ceding of land by Ukraine?
Well, I mean, if it were up to Putin, so basically it's the only thing that he wishes at this stage at least, right? Because his goals have not changed. He wants to control the territories that he currently has. He wants even more territories that he not yet has. I think at the end of the day, he wants to control the whole Ukraine. But there is an additional thing that is quite interesting, and I think that we have not yet heard the last of it. Just before the war, Putin mentioned that his goal extends beyond Ukraine in a way that he believes that NATO troops that are currently stationed in Baltic states and Poland, they shouldn't be there. And so he was talking about the NATO's return to what he said 1997 borders. So I'm sure that if he feels confident enough, he will go beyond what he currently expressed, and we will see more new requests coming from Moscow.
How does that make countries that are surrounding the region, including Lithuania, feel about the future of security guarantees and any sort of deal that does include ceding land?
Well, it's a very dangerous territory, so to say, because basically it's the first time after the end of the Cold War, where the borders will be changed, and so close to NATO and European Union. And if we, as a Western countries, meaning EU, European countries, and United States, would agree with that, basically either de facto because it's already gone, or even de jure, basically agreeing with the occupation. That spells trouble, and that spells more aggression for the rest of us, basically, because that that increases Putin's ambition. If he can claim something with force, most likely, with enough time, with enough leverage on the European countries and Western countries, he can claim, even more land, and not just in Ukraine.
So then when we're talking about security guarantees, it's important to also note here that security guarantees involving Russia have not worked in the past. During the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, Ukraine received security assurances from the US, UK, and Russia in exchange for giving up its nuclear arsenals. So, if not NATO, as we've discussed, that's sort of a red line in these discussions, what security guarantees do you think should be offered to Ukraine to ensure that Russia doesn't try to invade again? And we've seen this broken in the recent past in 2014 and 2022.
Well, that is a very uncomfortable question to many capitals in Europe, because answering that question, one has to answer a fundamental issue and has to address the fundamental issue, whether European countries are willing to defend Ukraine in the future together with Ukrainians. Meaning, if Russians would think of attacking, would we fight alongside Ukrainians? This is the main question. If you answer no, we're not ready, we cannot do that because we're not for any reasons. This is the main signal then to Putin, that basically then, okay, fine, you're talking, whatever you want to talk, but this is not serious. So that's why I'm not skeptical, but I'm cautious, let's say, when people are now expressing, that maybe we are approaching towards some sort of security guarantees, because actually, if we're serious, then it has to be a very serious debate, and that would really change the landscape, not just of Ukraine, but Europe itself.
To consider here, and of course, a lot to continue to look ahead to. Thank you so much for your thoughts and analysis. That is Gabrielius Landsbergis. He is the former Foreign Minister of Lithuania. Thank you.